Hi, it's Katrina. I would just wanted to do a quick update. I haven't done an update since um I was showing how to do how I was what I was experiencing during doing the injections for the MS. So I wanted to do a follow-up video because I'm no longer taking any of the injections. I'm currently not on any meds whatsoever because of the side effects of MS meds. So I just want to talk about that a little bit, and to also because it's not a craft channel, but these are the things that I do to cope with my stress. So here for the last probably 2 weeks, I've been addicted to resin. So I have been making magnets. I have been making anything I can find a mold for. And it's been really, really fun. They turn out really, really cute. Just as an outlet, because we all need an outlet, right? Life happens. So we all need an outlet. If you don't have one, I encourage you to get one. Find a hobby or something that you like to do or want to learn how to do, and go for it. I mean, we're our own worst critics, so you never know how somebody else might respond to whatever you're doing. So also, another thing that I started making out of resin I'm addicted to making the tic-tac-toe boards. So I've been on a magnet kick and a tic-tac-toe board kick. So I'm going to show you a couple of my tic-tac-toe boards, and I'm going to actually do one while we're on video so you can see how I do it. I'm not an expert at this. I'm just learning how to do it. It's very fun once you get the hang of it. So yeah, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so these are a few of my boards. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. The lighting in here is really bad. I lost my craft room for a good cause, because my daughter moved here with me. So I gave up my craft room. So I'm pushed into my room, which is a small room, but I don't mind because it holds everything I love. So that's good enough for me. But here is one that I just did. Let me take the pieces out so I can give you a full view of it. Okay, so this one was blue, the center, the base color was blue. So I just took just some blue glitter, and it's also a turquoise glitter in there that you can't see very well. And my X's and O's kind of match the theme of the blue and the turquoise. And yes, they fit inside the little board. So they're very fun. If you haven't tried this, I would suggest wait till you get a craft coupon and buy, because you can get the resin. Resin is expensive, but if you use a 50% off coupon for the brand that the coupon can work for, it becomes more reasonably priced. And again, they're fun to do. That's that one because my favorite color is essentially blue. But I also have this one, which came out really, really pretty by accident. I actually thought I messed it up when I did the pour, and it actually came out great. Like the pieces, like I said, they fit. And it color matched perfect for the project that I was doing. So that's that. Now I want to do a purple and gold one. My aunts and a lot of my cousins, their favorite color is purple. I don't know what it is about purple, but they all love purple. So I'm going to do a purple and gold one for my aunt, who also is in love with magnets. So she wants them all for her refrigerator, which is fine. So this is what I'm using, the Amazing, and I got this from Joann's. It was regularly like, I think, almost 30 bucks, but I had a coupon for 50% off. So that's what I used. I won't go into directions because again, it's not a craft channel. It's just what I do to keep myself entertained and busy, when I'm stressed. So okay, on to my issue. So what happened was, let me take these off. So what happened was with the glatiramed acetate, I don't know how to pronounce it the correct way. So please forgive me. But what kept happening with it is I kept getting large knots at the injection site, large painful knots, and they would get bigger. It would first form at the time of injection, but also like over the course of a couple of days after, it would just get bigger and bigger. I ended up on my last injection, where I think I did it on camera, in my left arm. When I did that injection got infected. And they wanted to actually go in and do surgery on it. It was so bad. So after I experienced that and I felt like I wasn't getting enough help from the neurologist that I'm seeing here in Kansas, I just decided that I'm not doing those injections. To me, they weren't worth it. Now, I don't know. I'm not advising anybody medically, because everybody that has anything, it's based on individuality. So, especially with like MS and lupus, like the symptoms that I have may not be the same as the symptoms that another person might have. And then there's different forms of each. So what didn't work for me may work for you. It depends on your situation and what you're willing to go through and how bad your MS is actually bothering you. I've had this coming for the last 11 years. So in 11 years, I hadn't been properly diagnosed or taken any preventative medications or anything like that, which is disappointing. But at the same time, my deficits, so to speak, I guess I want to call them, aren't severe. So at this time, I've just opted out not to take anything until my follow-up imaging. And I also have a follow-up. I have an initial consult appointment in Kansas City at the KU Medical Center MS Clinic, to where I believe they will be more experienced with handling the dual diagnosis, as well as just like a whole care team, an all-inclusive type of care plan that I hope they can help me with. So, okay. So in the meantime, what have I been doing? So I've been really, really stressed, hence all the crafts, because that's what I do when I get stressed. That's my outlet. So in the meantime, mental health is what I want to talk about. It's very important. Find you a support system. It doesn't have to be a medical professional. It can be a peer group. It can be a family member. It can be a friend. Because I can say dealing with a chronic illness and life in general can get tough. And it's not only tough for you, it gets tough. Everybody is going through something. We don't know, what life ever has in store for us. We can be going along fine, and all of a sudden, boom, we hit a wall. Some people can cope well with that, others can't. I'm the type of person, I cope well on my own, but I do like to vent and talk to my support people, because it helps me process. It helps me stay logical in my actions, so that I don't, to where I'm giving the right reaction to the situation that I'm going through. That's a big problem with MS, because it affects your mood. It affects your cognitive behavior. It affects your motor skills. Of course, it affects your nervous system, because of the myelin sheaths that cover the nerves or neurons in the brain, sheds and exposes that, and it deteriorates that area of control for the brain. So a lot of times, like when I'm talking or texting, I prefer to talk to people. I don't really like texting. It's annoying for the most part. So I'd rather have a conversation with somebody. That way I can make sure that if I'm explaining something to them, or we're having a discussion about something, that I'm using the correct words in the correct context, or I'm speaking in a way to where they can understand what it is I'm trying to say or explain. So I find it best to do that verbally. And also tone can be misinterpreted when you are texting someone and lead to misunderstandings. So I rather verbalize points, um, even though sometimes that can be difficult. I still would rather do it that way. Um, so yeah, so with that being said, here we don't have a lot of resources for people. I don't know why. It's not just with people with MS. It's just period. Wichita just doesn't have resources. Just a minute. Okay, missing. I had to grab some popsicle sticks. But Wichita, unfortunately, just doesn't have resources that can accommodate everybody. So you have to go outside of Wichita at times to get proper care, or the care that you desire care, I should say, because I don't want to say that, you know, the physicians here are incompetent. It's just that every doctor is not for everybody. You know, we all have a preference of the type of physicians and the type of care we would like to receive. Some people like doctors to be more hands-on, and some people just want the doctor to tell them what's wrong and how to fix it and move on with their business. I'm the person to where I like to be informed. If you tell me something, and that's with anything I do. If you tell me something, I want to research it. I want to know as much as I can about it, which is part of my biggest problem with MS, because even though in the back of my head, I seen it coming, we all did, I didn't research it. I didn't research it because they kept telling me that the symptoms I had were either psychosomatic, which is mean in my head, made up basically to me, or that it was in connection with my lupus. So I didn't do the research, you know, and it's not that I trusted what they were telling me. It just became at a point to where it was so frustrating to try to get somebody to listen and pay attention that I was just like, forget it. Because that's one of the things, and I'm not going to say I gave up on it. I never gave up on it, but you can't force the doctor to do anything. You know, you simply can't. And I just got tired of the point to where I was I felt like I was spinning my wheels at times. So I just was like, whatever, because it was causing more stress for me to continue to try to get people to them to understand what I was feeling, the symptoms I was having, and what I was going through. And you just get tired of trying to get people to pay attention. So I ended up, the Multiple Sclerosis Society is, if you have lupus, if you have MS and you're looking for a great resource, even if you don't have a office in your town or state or city or whatever, they still are able to connect you with advocates and resources that can help you with a lot of different situations. I'm so thankful for my advocate at the MS Society, Nina, because she has really came through for me in situations that I thought that I wouldn't have help with. And she really went to bat for me to make sure that I had the things that I need that I was missing. So I would recommend that to anybody. They also have a social support group on Facebook, and I'm sure they have one on Instagram as well. But I was able to attend a support group. Now, I have mixed feelings about the support group, because when I went, I think I wasn't expecting what I saw. There was only me and another person that were in a younger age group, so to speak, that did not require a walker, a cane, or some type of wheelchair or motor scooter for, you know, for mobility. That was the first thing I noticed. The second part of that was the feeling that of mutual experience, like-minded, I don't want to say like-minded, because it's not a way of thinking, but individuals like me that could relate to my symptoms, relate to what I'm going through. It didn't sound, I could describe something, or they would describe something, and it would hit home because it was something that I'm experiencing, that they too was experiencing. So I guess I should say validation, because a lot of times you can tell somebody that you're experiencing these things. Like, for instance, at times I have trouble swallowing, and like I did just now. So when I say I have trouble swallowing, literally there are times to where I need to swallow and I simply cannot swallow. I know how to swallow. But my brain just won't allow the function to, will not allow me to swallow. So, if I was to express that to somebody else that doesn't know what that feels like, it's hard for them to understand not being able to do something that simple as swallowing, because we just do it. That's one of the things that we just do without cognitively thinking about it. But with my MS and my experience, I can only speak to my experience. Even just simply thinking about things, it just, in wanting to do it, it doesn't happen. That within itself can be discouraging to some people. It's discouraging to me. Okay, so the other part of that is I felt like at the support group, it was emotional for me for two reasons. For one, I felt like I'm looking at these people with their situations. Some of them have lost, the majority of them had lost mobility, independent mobility, which I thankfully still have. I have trouble with it at times when I'm in an episode or flare or whatever you want to, exasperation, whatever you want to call it. When I'm not feeling well, then I do have difficulty with my mobility, and I'm at a higher fall risk. But this is something that they deal with every day. It's something that they haven't recovered from once the damage was done. So I felt bad for venting of my situation when I'm looking at their situation. It's way worse than my situation. I could be thankful for the slow progression that I'm having, that I'm experiencing. But then on the flip side of that coin, I'm looking and I'm like, is this my future? Is this what I have to look forward to? Because it progresses. It's not something that you can slow it down, but you can't prevent the progression. From what I've researched, I don't know anyone that's turned back time and recovered from the damage that was done. So in my research, as far as like medication and things like that, they're designed to prevent progression and disabling the disability of MS. So it made me think about my future and how fast am I going to progress? Am I going to progress? And what is that going to look like? Who is going to be my support system when I really, really am physically incapable of taking care of myself? Even the difference in my voice, the fluctuation of my tone, and where it seems like the words get caught. They do. That's the MS. Or I can have a situation where I'm trying to make a point, but the point doesn't make sense. That can happen. Focus is a thing, trying to stay focused or to not ramble or go from one thing to the next thing. So often, like when I have to go to the doctor, in order for me to stay in that appointment for what I came for, or for the things that I want to discuss, I often find that I have to write that down so that I get everything covered, because I don't always, memory is terrible. I don't always remember what it is I need to talk to her about. It's hard for me to keep track of basically anything anymore. So I rely basically on my phone and on a whiteboard that I have in my room, but I need a bigger one. for the family can see, so that my support can see, you know, what I have scheduled or what I'm doing for the day or whatever, so that I don't miss things, because I do miss them. I am working. I'm still working. I'm trying to hang in there. It's not something that I'm willing to give up just yet, unless I have to. It's different because I'm doing a more clerical job than when I was on the nursing floor and I was actually interacting with patients, and it became a safety issue because of my fall risk. So it's something that I couldn't do anymore, and it's heartbreaking. It's even more heartbreaking now because I know the reason. And I just think about, had I had the proper diagnosis, you know, at that time, would the situation, would the outcome now be different? So it's kind of, they said I'm mourning the loss of what never happened. Which is true. I do. I get really emotional when I talk about my nursing and things like that, because it's frustrating. You know, you have a plan and a path that you see for yourself, and then all of a sudden you hit a wall. And in my case, I hit a wall and nobody was willing to help me, or, you know, climb over it or go around it. Which had they been willing to do that instead of being dismissive, I do believe that, I know that I could have continued my nursing. So it's heartbreaking for me. But anyway, so I don't know what everybody else has been doing, but I just wanted to update on what I've been doing and how I've been coping and things like that. I don't want to make this video longer than what it necessarily needs to be, because I want to share my project. But I do want everybody to stay encouraged. I want you to find your happiness in other things. If you've lost your happiness because of MS, or because of a mental issue, or because, you know, you lost a person, because of just basically of life, find something that you really enjoy and go for it. You know, even if you don't, you just simply get to share it with others. I don't sell any of my things that I make, because I don't do it for, it's my hobby. It's my coping mechanism. So once you start doing something for money, that becomes your job. You start dependent on that for income. And I don't want to be dependent on my crafts for my income. I want to keep the joy of completing projects and seeing things that I make come to life from nothing. I want to, you know, enjoy the joy of turning this liquid into those projects. It's an amazing feeling to watch that come to life. So I don't care what it is. If it's you're an avid reader, find different books. If you love coffee, or whatever you're allowed to have, coffee, teas, cheese, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. Find different ways to get it. Don't stick with just American goods. You know, my sister runs a soap shop, and she's even now incorporated international soaps into her sales line, which is interesting because everything is different everywhere else. Nothing is exactly the same throughout the world. So, you know, do that. If you don't get if you can travel, travel. If you can't travel and you have a destination that is like you would love to see, but you can't go to see, put it in your mind. Buy a book on it. I have books on Italy. I've never been. I probably will never get the opportunity to go, but I still enjoy my books because I get to see it, you know. I get to see the things, the art things, because I want to simply go because of the art and the botanical gardens. But I still get to see those things and somewhat experience those things through the books that I have around me and that are gifted to me, because it's been a wish for the last 27 years. This never it hasn't came true yet. But just stay encouraged. Find something that makes you happy, that doesn't involve anyone else but you, because people can kind of disappoint when you start to, you can't rely on anybody for your own happiness. You are in control of that yourself. So find something that brings you that joy and go for it. I don't know if how to fix the comments section. I still haven't figured that part out. But basically, everybody on my channel is family or friends, or if they come across it. So you can always shoot me a text or, you know, call me on the phone and or whatever. For anybody else that happens to come across my channel and you have a suggestion or a question or something you would like to share with me and have me kind of talk about or see if I've experienced or go into more detail about it, I'll give you my email address is Katrina, Katrina 254@gmail.com. So you're more than welcome to send me a let me change that. It's actually Katrina Woods. So it's KATRINAWOODS 254@gmail.com. So you can always shoot me a quick email. And I promise I will answer or address whatever it is you put in there for me to address to the best of my ability. As again, I am not offering anybody medical advice. I'm not telling anybody what to do in their situation, other than find the joy in your life and go for it. Have a good day.